Good morning, everyone. In behalf of everyone who are not here, let me record our class so that you will have, for those who are not around, you would be able to watch again the class for our online, okay, for our synchronous class. So, nag-record na ko ha. Okay, just for you to be informed. Okay. So, yeah, let's start. Let's start our proper discussion. So, okay. So, could you now see my screen? Okay, good. So, okay, so if you open your classroom, you could see. Let me edit this one. So, if you could see my classroom, so here supposedly it should be posted already, but we will still be discussing our katong last topic. So, hopefully you've watched our class sa video. So, palihog kog watch, make sure nga maka-view mo adto in order for you to be ano really ready, especially for the class for synchronous. Okay. So although ayo kabalaka, I'll be discussing it man, but much better you still watch it for you, for those who have some questions. Maka sila. Okay. Oh my god, nawa akong connection. Sorry guys, I've lost my connection here in school. Could you hear me now? Okay. So our first discussion will revolve on the introduction, obviously, and the elimination of arbitrary constant. So if you could see here, I also uploaded a PDF file. So it is a handwritten. So you will be expecting na if we have a face-to-face class, these are the things you will see on the chalkboard. So okay, let me zoom this one. So let's start. So what is differential equation? So a differential equation is an equation which contains derivatives and differential. Okay, so it includes derivatives and differential. So if you could see here in a differential equation, you will see dy over dx is equals to 4x. Diba? When you have your integral calculus, you only have one variable. So let's say we have dy or you have dx, right? But here in differential equation, it could be multiple variables. Okay, compared to your last calculus, it will only treat one variables at a time. But here, since it is more complex, so it will do higher order, higher degree differential equations, and also with multiple variables. So these are the terms that we usually see when we discuss differential equation. If we say ordinary differential, so most of our discussions are ordinary differential. So if we do that, you will see the symbol for differential. Okay. So for partial differential, you will have the, it's like the letter a Greek letter A. Okay. So when I said solutions of differential equations, so that are or those are non-derivative relation of the given differential equation. So for those solutions for differential equation, we have general solution and particular solution. So, sir, what is general and what is a particular solution? Because when I give you exams, I will write there solve for the general solutions of the given problem. Okay? So, you need to know what is particular and what is general solution so that your answer will be correct as what I've asked in the problem. So, for a general solution, those are solutions of differential equation that contains arbitrary constancy. 'Di ba, when you solve for integral calculus, you will add plus c, right? When you solve for integral, you will have plus c. Those c are called arbitrary constants. Okay. If I ask you general solution, meaning that is with arbitrary constants. But if I ask you for a particular solution, meaning your arbitrary constant has a fixed value. Okay. So when I say solve for a given differential equation, uh, and show its particular solution. So meaning you need to solve for when you need to also solve for the arbitrary constant na value. Okay. Like for example, you wonder we have equations for line, circle, parabolas. Like for example, equation of the line, you have ax plus by plus c equals 0. The a, b, and c are arbitrary constants. So meaning those are general solutions. Okay? So those are solutions of the given differential equation. And those solutions are what we've used to solve for our problem. So meaning in differential equation di, we use these general solutions for us to solve a given problem. So in differential equation, we first create the what we said the equations. Okay? In other subjects. Like for example, in geometry, trigonometry, solid mensuration, if you've encountered that one in your senior high. So, do you have that one in your senior high? Or you're only on the algebra? I think naana siya sa high school pod. So, when I was still like you, a student, we have those plenty of mathematics before we reach calculus. So, daghan pa kayong agian. But right now, since we are expected to have that one in your senior high and high school, so that was already been omitted. And expected that you already have those backgrounds since you already accomplish your differential and integral calculus. Okay? So, expected na jud ng mga maayo na jud mo og calculus. No? Ha? Mga maayo na mag-calculus. Okay? No comment. Okay. So, we also have here, so these are all general solutions. So these are equations of line, circle, parabola, ellipse, and hyperbola. So if you could still remember your geometry, okay? So these are all discussed there. So this is where those equations came came from. Okay. So these are things that you will be doing in the subject. So meaning our answer will be an equation. Okay, so that's what we do in differential equation. That's why the subject is differential equation. So our end result is an equation, except if I ask a particular solution. So let's say here, okay, loading ato ang oy, update. So, so let's say in this part we have equations x dx plus y dy equals 0, right? So in this equation, you are asked to solve for general solution. Okay? So meaning you need to solve for this ano this general solution or the equation. So meaning if you have a differential equation like this is the differential equation of an equation of a circle where the center is on the origin. Okay? So in the integral calculus, you don't do this, di ba? At a time. You just do x dx only, right? You integrate this one, okay? And not at the same time. So this one is just easy. So what you do is just treat it individually, okay? So what is the integral of x dx? Codix na to, okay? So the integral of x dx, that is a power rule, right? Anyone? Okay. Power rule state that when you integrate this one, you will do adding one in its power. So the power of this is one plus one over one plus one plus one plus this one also y one plus one over one plus one equals the zero integrate also. So the integral of zero is a constant. Okay. So that is the arbitrary constancy. In your solution in the integral calculus, that's, di ba, when you solve it, okay, just add plus c. Actually, that is for the equation, the equate to zero. That's why you add c, okay? It's not just, I just add plus c, okay? So, that is the zero part. So, from there, you have x squared over 2 plus y squared over 2 equal c. So in this case, we could simplify this further into, okay, so you could multiply both sides by 2. So you could multiply both sides by 2. So you will, sorry, not, yeah, multiply. Then you will have x squared plus y squared equals 2c. So therefore, this will be your general solution. Okay? Or others try to do this one much simpler, especially foreign books. Pati nga ka, sir, my solution is 2c. But in the book, it is just like x squared plus y squared equals c sub 1 or c. Because it just equate that 1c sub 1 is equals to 2c. Therefore, you can say x squared plus y squared equals c sub 1. So you could also do that one as long as you state what is the equivalent of your C sub 1. And still, this is your general solution. So don't one if you see the books I've attached, sa ato ang Google Classroom, they don't have 2C's, 3C's, or variable, or sorry, a constant number multiplied to an arbitrary constant. Wala. So it's just an arbitrary constant, so that you will not be confused. So what if I say solve for the particular solution? So in this case, it states that your x, okay, your x is equal to 2 when your y is equals to 3. Simply, you need to solve for c sub 1. So just substitute, you have 2 squared in the given general solution plus 3 squared equals c sub 1. 2 times 2, that is 4, plus 3 times 3, that is 9, equals c sub 1. So 9 plus 4, that is 13, right? Equals c sub 1. Therefore, your c sub 1 is equals to 13. You, then we could say your x squared plus y squared equals c sub 1. That is your general solution. Could be x squared plus y squared equals 13. Okay? That is your particular solution. But when you say, sir, that is if c sub 1 is equal to 2, ano no, 2c. So, this one is correct since c sub 1 is equals to 13. Or if you want to really get the c, I think it will be like this. X squared plus y squared equals, di ba, 2c. You could also have 2c. So, your x squared plus y squared equals, if that is 2c, if this is 2c, therefore you have your c as pilaman. If c sub 1 is 13, your c is 13 over 2. So that is still 13. So your 2c is just equal to 13, or if you want it to be specific, that is 2 times, that is 2. So still equivalent to this one. That's why books prefer to use or equate the arbitrary constant that is multiplied by, or multiplied or divided by, constant value into just as a single arbitrary constant. Because again, arbitrary constant will hold any values. Okay, it will hold any values. Again, in this subject, each one of you could have different answer. Hmm? It depends on how will you treat the arbitrary constant. That's the reason why there are times that it take time for me to submit your paper. So I'm really happy right now because when we have our exam that is already face to face, so it is easier for me to check rather than downloading your submitted answer on the online Google Classroom, or just tilting my head or my screen so that I could understand your solution right now. So since paper and penta, so it is much easier for me to submit directly your paper. But again, there are times that it take time, especially if more students are really tedious in studying solving, because I will check it person per person. Okay? But if your answer is, when I see the paper, okay, your answer are all the same, okay, I'll just group you into your answer. Okay? That's how we do checking. Okay? Then that's how we know that one of you or most of you are just copying the answer of your classmate. So, mas dali siya may bawaan. Uh, So, any question? Any question so far? So, this one is our particular solution. So, if I ask particular solution, therefore, I will always be giving these values. So to substitute. If I just ask general solution, then you give me with arbitrary constants. Are we understood? Like sinabot ta? Huh? Good. Okay. That's so if you could see the same answer, 13C. 13, sorry, not 13C. Okay. So meaning the 13, if we are talking with circles, therefore we don't have a value beside your y. Therefore, the circle is at the origin. The center of the circle is at the origin where the radius is square root of 13, di ba? Since 13 is just the value and we say this is a area of the circle or equation of the circle, sorry, equation of the circle. So this arbitrary constant or this constant value is the r squared. So when you get the radius, that is square root of 13. That's how we get that's how you will use this one, this equation, to your geometry. But in this subject, we come up with a specific formula. So, ingani day ang differential equation. When the statement there is find the equation of the circle that the radius is on, or the radius, no, the center is on the origin. So, therefore, you don't have a multiplier on your x and y, and then you just integrate that one, and then you will get the circle, equation of the circle. So that's how you do create equations that is used by your other mathematics and your major subjects. Again, my professor told me almost everything as long as you know how to put a specific variables and relate it into differential equation, most of it will be solved by differential equation and statistics. So, makuha ni mga relationship niya. So, those are the things nato na mga solbon. Okay. We will solve for equation. Now, this is our basic thing to do. Okay? Ingani siya. Pero, may mga mas mga higher problems pa ani. So, we are still discussing on the terms so that you will not be uh, shocked when I told you, okay, what is the order of the given differential equation? So you will know and you could answer me directly. Now, order and degree of differential equation is important in terms so that you will know when and how you will treat your solution. And in the board exam, I've seen most problems asking what is the degree of the given, what is the order and degree of the given differential equation. Okay, and then many will already have the problem because they don't know it. Okay, so hopefully you will not forget this one. Okay, when we say order of differential equation, it is the higher order derivative. Sir, unsa man na siya? So, di ba when you say first derivative, second derivative, third derivative, that is the order. Okay? Di ba when we say, where's that thing? Okay. Okay. Di ba when we say, oy, okay, ano na lang. Okay. Like this. This is the order. Okay? So when we say second derivative, that is d squared y over dx squared. When we say first derivative, that is just the dy over dx. And most of your differential calculus talks about the first derivative. The first derivative lang. Panagsara mo na mo second, third derivative, 'di ba? So naa multiple differentiation. So but I think the last part na siya. Okay. So here, when you say order of differential equation, it is the order or the times that it will be that it is derived. Okay. So in the degree of differential equation, that is the degree of the highest order. Meaning, if you have, let's say, you have this multiple differential equation, so your degree will follow the highest order. Okay. In this case, their order is all first order, di ba? That is dy over dx. That is first order. Therefore, the degree of that is the highest degree. But if you have this one, for example, dx, d cube y over dx cube squared plus dy over dx cube minus 4y equals 6. For example, in the board exam, what is the order of or what is the degree of the given differential equation? So your answer is your degree will always depend on the highest order. Okay? So therefore, if you are asked to know or what is the degree of the given differential equation, you first look at the highest order. Is this the highest order? The answer is no. Is this the highest order? The answer is yes. Since from all of this, the this one and this one, the highest order is 3, di ba? D cubed y. So it is the third derivative. So the third order, therefore, the answer is second degree. So the degree will always follow the highest order. Okay? If you were to be asked. Okay? Therefore, the order here is third order and second degree for this given differential equation. Okay? Nagkasinabot, kinsay wa kasabot. Don't be shy to ask question ha kay uh, I preferred someone asking questions. Okay, maybe all of you are not speaking Bisaya. So tell me ahead of time because in my other section there is someone who have a hard time speaking Bisaya. So I need to speak English. So here if there is someone like that, please tell me ahead of time. Okay, so that I could adjust the way I talk. Okay, did you understand how to get the order and degree of differential equation? Guys, hello. Yes, Carl. True. Yes, that is correct, Carl. Mm-mm. Degree. Yes, that's true. Okay, good, good. Others, you have clarifications? That's the reason, Carl, that I emphasize this one, since I've seen most of the reviewers asking, what is the order, what is the degree, and most of the student couldn't answer. So that's why when I handle this one, I always tell them this is how you know the order and the degree of differential equation because supposedly this is the most easiest question in the board exam, and then you couldn't answer, and you risk your life answering the solution solving part, and then you don't have 100% assurance that is correct. Then at least you will already have one question, two questions, or three questions that is correct, and you will save time for that. And others just skip it because they don't know what is the order and the degree of differential equation. Okay, so as again what Carl uh, clarify, that you will always look into the order of the given equation. Look for the highest order. If in case there will be uh, two or more same order, then look for its highest degree. Okay? But if you're asked to get the degree and then you look for the order, and if the order is, even though the other one have the million of degree, it's exaggerated millions of degree, but the order is just first order, then the degree of the given differential equation is not the million, but the degree of the highest order. Okay? Okay. So the same again. So again, differential equations are those equations with no arbitrary constants. Okay? That is a clarification. So, sir, how will we know that this is already general solution and this is differential equation? So, in general solution, there is an arbitrary constant. But in the differential equation, there is no constant. Okay? Sir, in the particular solution, sir, so there's no constant. But if you could see, is ano, there is no more differential. So in the differential equation, there is differential and there's no constant. In the general solution, in the differential equation, there is differential and there is no constant. In the general solution, there is no differential and there is constant. In the particular solution, there is no differential and there is also no constant, since the constant is equivalent to a value already. Okay? So that's when will you know, that's when the time that you will know that your answer is already general, your answer is already particular, or your answer is a differential equation. Because our our starting topic, so we already been done with the most of the theories. So our first topic is, before we solve differential equations, we try to review eliminating arbitrary constant. Meaning, you are given with a, a general solution, okay, like this. You are given with general solution like this: y equals ax cubed plus bx squared plus c. So you're given with that, and then you need to solve for the given differential equation. So how will you do that? So there are two steps. There are only two steps to solve a given general solution to its corresponding differential equation. The first step is count. Okay. The first step is count the number of arbitrary constants. Next is differentiate the equation according to the number of arbitrary constant, meaning you will derive it as many as the number of constant you found on your given equation. Okay, so let's try. So from here, if you can see, your y is equals to ax. So let's try to do this one. Okay. So here, okay, kana ha? Okay. So let's try solving this one. The given equation is y is equals to ax cubed plus bx squared plus c. Okay. So from here, the first step is to count, di ba? How many arbitrary constant present on the given equation. In this case, we have how many? How many arbitrary constant do we have? Good, Clyde. So where's my cursor? Okay. So we have three arbitrary constant, that is A, B, and C. So we have three constants, that is A, B, and C. The second thing we need to do is to differentiate it as to how many number of constant present in the given equation. So since we have three, we differentiate it three times. Okay, so y prime, o first derivative, that is, what is the first derivative of that? Ax cubed. What is the derivative of ax cubed? So you need to recall your differential calculus. That is 3ax squared. Good. A is a constant. It's just like a number. So again, so it will retain. So you have in multiply that one, you have 3 times a x. So 3 minus 1, that is 2. Di ba? Plus this one, that is 2bx. Okay. How about the c? What is the differential of or derivative of a constant? Good. So the answer is isa, yamu. Okay. The wait, nalibat ko sa akong cursor. Sorry. Plus 0. Therefore, our first derivative is 3ax squared plus 2bx. Okay? That is our first one. So, we continue for our second derivative. Di ba? We derive this one again. Ato ang first. So, what is the derivative of 3ax squared? Good. 6ax plus this one. Unsa to, Christian? Good. Okay. The answer is 2b. Since when you derive this one, you have power of 1 times 2, that is 2, times the b, which is constant, x 1 minus 1, that is 0. X raised to the power of 0 will always be 1, right? So your x turns to 1. So this is your second. Then the third one is, what is the third one? Hmm? Ay, sorry, this is 6. Yeah, I missed this one. Okay, that is 6. So the answer is, ano sa to? Kinsa to niingon? 6a. How about this one? Plus, how about 2b? 2b? So man, b? The, ans- the answer is 0. Okay. So b is just like a number, di ba? So you 2 times, let's say b is 13, like katong si sub 1. B is 13. 2 times 13 is 26. 26, when you derive, that is still 0. Okay? So that is still 0. So therefore, your y triple prime is 6a. Question, answer. I have a question. Okay. And you answer me. Is this already a differential equation? Yes or no? Giunsa na ako pag state si differential equation. What is a differential equation? 'Di ba ang rule, 'di ba? Ang nakabutang na rule is, in order to solve it, you count the in order to solve for the given in order to find the differential equation, we need to count how many arbitrary constants. We do that one. It's three, di ba? A, B, and C. Then after that, we differentiate it 3 times because we differentiate it as the number of constant. We've already done. But the question is that a differential equation? Is 6a differential equation? Answer? Yes or no? It's just plain yes or no. If if no, okay. If no, nga no. The answer is no. Okay, the answer is no. But dapat walay constant. Because in the differential equation, there should be derivative or differential, which we have here in the y triple prime, di ba? But there should be no arbitrary constant. So it could have a number, but there should be no value of a. So therefore, we need to get first what is the value of a. Di ba? So sir, what will we do? Okay. If you derive it three times and it turns out that there's no arbitrary constant already, it was eliminated, then if it is just y triple prime equals to 6, then you could consider that one as arbitrary differential equation like this one. Di ba? Kino eh. For example, walay order na siya. Third, it just be wala po ni siyang 4y just equal to 6, makonsider na to. But if we have constant, what do we do? So the thing we need to do is this one. Okay. We need to substitute. Okay. So in this case, we could get the value of a, right? A is equals to y triple prime over 6, right? We could get the value of a. After that, we could substitute it here, not here anymore. We could substitute it here in the second derivative to get the 2b or to get the b. After that, we could substitute the a and b so that we could get the y prime. Okay, nagets ninyo? Okay, so let's try first. No, substitute a, which is equal to y triple prime over 6 to, since we are using the third derivative, so let's try substituting it to ano, pwede, okay, let's try substituting in a y, ano, y prime. Okay, so y prime to y prime. So y prime is equal to 3a x squared plus 2bx. Substitute that one, you have y prime equals 3 times y triple prime over 6 times x squared plus 2bx. Okay? So from there, okay, okay, later na ni nato siya kay mas sayon kung kuwaon nato daan si 2b para mausa nato ani. Oh, iano lang nato. So, ano sa lang. A equals to y triple prime over 6 to y double prime lang. Nahon lang nato ni. Kay mo taas man eh. So we have y double prime equals 6 times our a, which is y triple prime over 6, and then times x plus 2b. Now we could get our 2b. Okay, so you have y double prime equals 6 og 6 ma-cancel nato, no? So you have y triple prime only, x plus 2b. Therefore, we have 2b equals y double prime, minus y triple prime x. Okay, this is our, sir, nga nung b. So, mataas pa man ta. So, since we already have 2b, 2b na lang dayon ang substitute nato para di kayo taas. Okay. A and our b. Substitute AB, which is y double prime minus y triple prime x. So, kini pulihan nato ni. Let's erase this one. So, we have 2b, that is y triple prime, double prime, minus y triple prime x times x. Okay, so we could do this one simpler like this. So we could simplify it further. So y single prime equals, that is one third, right? One third, one half, sorry. Manong one third man. One half. One half of y double prime, triple prime x squared plus y double prime minus y triple prime x times x. Okay, so you could have this one as your equation, or you could have it converting this to the order. So first y prime is first order, so therefore that is dy over dx equals one half of the third order, which is the d cube y over dx cube. So x, so unahon nato ni. So that is, let's put it x squared here. Plus, okay, so all of that having x. So you could multiply x individually. This becomes x squared. So you have x d squared y over dx squared minus x squared, right? X times x. Then you have d cube y over dx cube. You could have this differential equation. Now, my question is, what is the degree of differential equation? Degree in order of this. What is the degree in order of this given differential equation? That is third order. What is the degree? Okay. First degree. Since this is not powered. Okay? Wala siya gi-power. So, here, again, this answer could be different from each of you. Ano? You could not, you may not distribute it. Pwede ra. So, pwede ra na ingani ra. So, pwede ra pod ingani ra. So, depende na sa inyo ha. So, about if the answer is correct. So, if it follows the proper rule of mathematics. Okay? So, we have correct 2B and we have one half. Okay. So, in my answer, wala gali na ko distribute, di ba? Say x. So, again, we have the right answer. So, we have the same answer. Do we have the same answer? If you could still remember, let's pair it. Same answer. Wrong answer. So I've been teaching this how many times? I've taken many differential equation and advanced math in my masters. So medyo kapila ni gibalik-balik na to. Okay, so y prime, y triple prime x squared over 2 or 1 half. You have x. Okay. So here, dy. So here, over na to. So we could do this one also. It's the same. So yeah, I think it's correct. Now, what I want is a question or clarification, like uh what Ken ba to? Kyle. I forgot. Kinsa to nag ano ganiha. So any clarifications so that before we proceed to the next example. So we are not yet solving differential equation to a given general solution. Here from a general solution to differential equation. Ingani mahitabo. Kung magsugod na jud ta sa solving sa differential equation, ang mga ipanghatag nato ninyo is inganing porma. Mga inganing porma. Inganing mga porma ha. Tapos ang solbo ninyo dapat may inganing kini na mga arbitrary constant. Ingana dapat. Karon gibali lang nato. Okay. Quick review is just a quick review of the differential calculus ninyo. Okay? Question. Anyone? Nasabtan ra? Nasabtan ra? Iluman ninyo. Uy. Bitaw, nasabtan na ninyo guys. Okay. Vincent dito si Vincent dito. Wa kuha Jobert unsa may dili nimo nasabtan? Bert. Before ha? Lisod po nang mostly ra ba sa student kay mauwa sa maestro. So nasabtan na. Yang pagkahuman bay giunsa galit no ni sir bay galibog ko giunsa to pag solve ni sir. Okay? Labong na po si sir na makatubag ninyo. So better ask question. So okay, I will fast track again what did we do in this solution. Okay, first we have our given general solution. In order to transform the given general solution to a differential equation, you need to count how many arbitrary constant. That's why we count this ABC and we come up with three arbitrary constant. If we have three arbitrary constant, then we derive the given equation to three differential or derive it three times. Okay, so that's what we do. We derive it y prime, y double prime, and y triple prime. Supposedly, after doing the third derivative, it should end there. Okay, it should end there because that's just the rule. But these two solutions came into surface because our third derivative is not yet qualified to be called differential equation since a constant is still present. So, ang buhaton nato, wad-o nato si constant. Di ba? So, ang gibuhat nato ganiha is, since na namatay arbitrary constant ani, usa na lang siya. So, gi-equate nato siya para ma-substitute nato siya to it's either first, second derivative. So, giuna nato si second derivative nga no, since if magbutang ko ani directly kining solusyon na dayon, ang mahitabo is wa may English pekenes ani no. So I could speak Bisaya. Makasabot ra ba tanan Bisaya or nabay Tagalog? May Tagalog ba dito? Makasabot ra tanan Bisaya. So I'll speak vernacular. Okay ra? Okay, Tagalog. Okay kayo. Okay. So, from here, the reason why I jump in this case, because if I do, as I've seen in the equation, if I just substitute the A here, and I will still remain with 2B. And if you look into that, I have too many variables and values that I need to substitute on the second derivative. So, I start with second derivative, since when I get the constant b, I'll just remain with as simple as this equation. Nga nira. So, sir, nga nung 2b, pwede ra pod b. So, you will just make your life harder since 2b is present here, then just substitute the 2b. Or if you just want your b, you can divide it with 2. When it reach here, 2 over 2 is just cancelled raman po. Makancel raman na siya. So, just making our life easier. So, just substitute what you could eliminate in this part. So, elimination, and actually, it's more on substitution. So, from there, I substitute it, and then simplify. Actually, this one could be considered already the answer. Just making sure that there's no arbitrary constant that is present. So after that, since I've seen I can simplify it further, so I just turn this 3 over 6 into 1 half, and that is the answer. And in order for me to show what is the order in degree, so I transform it to this one. Okay? Much preferred na to ang answer na ingani. Okay? Kagets! Nganong niingana siya? Ha? Hopefully na sabta na. Okay. So don't worry, our discussion today will be uploaded po. Okay. So hopefully you've watched it again and again. You're very lucky that you could watch it many times as you want. Okay. Now let's proceed with the next example. What if our given equation or given general solution contains exponential functions? So could you still remember how to derive exponential functions? Huh? Let's recall. Okay. So if our given equation is like this, okay, let's solve it. So dilito na nina ko, ha? Don't worry, I'll upload the video. Hopefully nag-record siya. Okay. Okay. So mag-delete na ta. Okay. So let's write the given equation again. So we have y equals c sub 1 e raised to power 2x plus c sub 2 e raised to power negative 2x. Okay, that is exponential function. Okay, this is an exponential function. Okay, sorry. Okay, let's try to solve this one. Okay, are you still with me? What pa'y katugo ninyo? Kaya pa? Carry pa ha? Carry pa? Carry pa. Okay, good. So now let's try to solve. What's the first step? Count how many arbitrary constant present in your given general solution. In this case, we have how many? The correct, that is c sub 1 and c sub 2. We have two constant, which is c sub 1 and c sub 2. Okay. Therefore, we will derive the given equation twice. Diba? So we have y prime equals, derive this one. Okay. Could you still remember how to derive it? Actually, it's just easy. So remember EU is equal to the derivative of EU, derive that one, EU. Or we say that the derivative of this is EU du. Okay. Therefore, the derivative of EU is just EU. But if EU have a value like 2, you need to derive it first. And what will we do? Okay. So here, I posted that you have in the derivative, 25 na siya sa book ni Peterson, the orange book. Wala ko gada karon. So giputang na nako ani. So derivative of EU is just EU du over dx. So since this is with respect to x, that's why I put dx. Okay? dy dx and etc. So from there, you just derive it. Okay? So ito na to para hindi na tamalangan. So expecting you already have recalled it. So what is the derivative of e2x or c sub 1 times e2x? Doon pa? Ka-recall pa mo? Wala na. Okay, let's try. Derivative of 2x obviously will give you 2e 2x. Nga naman, because your u ni mo ani will be 2x. When you derive that one, you have 2 dx. So, if you derive the total of that, so, diliton sa ninako. Sige. So, if you derive that one, literally, you will have like this. E 2x derived 2dx. Di ba? Because your u is 2x. When you derive that one, you derive this one, you have 2dx. To balance, you have 2 e raised to the power of 2x. So, this is the derivative. Okay? So, you could actually, I'll give you this. Kung nakalimot na mo, you could use this one. Differential differential calculator. Okay, derivative calculator. You could use this one. Okay? I'm sure you tried that one already sa inyong sa inyong subject. But in this case, naiuban na ni shortcut na niya. So, unsa to given e raised to the power of 2x, no? Okay, let's try. That should result of 2 raised to the power of raised to the power of. Okay, sure. Yes, sir. So it like this, going up. So show steps. So okay. So as I've told you, you need to have derive first your x. You have that's the process in your differential calculus. So what remains here is just your 2 a2x because this becomes 1. So yeah, that's how you solve your exponential. Okay, when you derive. Okay. So in integrating that one, it's different. Lahi pod. Okay. Okay. Nagets na? Actually the most easiest one is doing this. The engineering way of or the deriving it shortcut is just the basic differentiation. You multiply the two, then copy. It's just simple as that. If you could see the two here, the constant value here, multiply it, and then copy the given. And that's it. Okay, except if that is 2x squared. So, lahi pa po to. Mo 4 man ni siya. Okay. Nagets? Guys, na-recall ba? Okay. Okay. Basta kung makakita mo ani sa ato magbalik-balik naman na especially og mag integration by parts ta. So magbalik-balik na siya. So just the basic derivative ang kalahian lang sa kung mag-derive ta, di ba? Minusan man nato og 1. Kini dili na. Kining constant value niya I multiply then copy the exponential na given. So therefore, constant is a constant, you just copy it. So you have 2c sub 1 e raised to the power of 2x. Okay, mao na si 2 e raised to the power of 2x. Plus, oops, that is not plus, that is minus. Good. Negative 2 c sub 2 e raised to the power of negative 2x. Sakto? Good. So that is our first one. The second one is derive again. So masayo na siya. The answer is, guys, 4 c sub 1 e raised to 2x. This one plus 4 c sub 2 e to the power of negative 2x. Okay, good. Wait ha. Mag-charge ako rin. Kasi ma-off ta. Okay. Okay. So from there, we have that one. So supposedly we end here, di ba? Dapat humanataan na. But again, we still have c sub 1 and c sub 2. Sir, ano sa man ni ma? Uman, kanunay naaman si arbitrary constant. So, ano sa may buhaton nato? Nakabatikod mo na ay common. You try to look at y double prime and the given. You look here and you look here. Ano sa may common nila? Ha? Ah, not the the y itself. The what's inside? What's inside? If you could see, the difference lang nila is the 4, right? All of this is present in the y double prime. Am I right? All of the c sub 1 e raised to the power of 2x plus c sub 2 is raised to the power of negative 2x. That is the same, right? So therefore, we could just rewrite this one, y double prime equals 4. We could move out the 4, right? C sub 1 e raised to the power of 2x plus, sorry, c sub 2 e raised to the power of negative 2x, sorry. Okay, now we have y double prime, that is 4. And what is this? That is your y. Okay. So, therefore, our answer here is just this. Basta, my suggestion is you try to eliminate c sub 1 and c sub 2 or the constant. So, therefore, if we do this one, second order, d squared y over dx squared equals 4y. So, this is our answer. Correct? This can now be considered as differential equation. There's no constant, there is differential. Okay? So, this is considered. Nagets? Nagets? May question? Wala. Wala. Okay. Ayaw po buhatan niya. Okay. I have a student, okay, a former student. So, luckily, he still become engineer. Okay, but he do, he do this in my class. Okay. Diba, I've said, try your best to eliminate arbitrary constant. Okay. So, after a quite while of doing solving and blowing his mind in trying to eliminate the arbitrary constant, what he did is, because he cannot eliminate the arbitrary constant, then he cancel it. Meaning, ingon si sir, mawad on si constant, di ko na ako iapilog sa what did, nawa lagi si constant. Okay, dili nga na ha. Okay. So, kanang unsa tawag ana? Apelido ato niya is Lorican. So, Lorican law of cancellation. Kantsawan man to nako. So, okay, please don't use the Lorican law of cancellation. If it is hard, cancel it out. Don't do that, okay? Don't do the Larrican's law of cancellation. So, if it is hard, cancel it out. So, maura ba na style sa estudyante, pag check na mo, ano na ingani man ang solution niya, asa manigikan. So, gi-cancel ra di ito niya kay para maparihas sa gikaping sa iyahang classmate. Uy, mo ni answer sa kinabrayta na mo. Oh, mao ni maning ako ang ano maning ni kansilo ni nako. No, pag naglibog in town si Sir og chinek, ano man jud niya na-cancel niya. Tapos kung tanaawon nimo kay sakto man ang process pag abot na by theory or postulate or identity nga mug-ingon nga kini is cancel out ni siya, may equivalent to one nga nang maingani man na siya. So, naghinuktok in town si Sir, nag-research og taman nga nung naingana. So, pag ending da ito, gi-adjust na to niya para maparehas sa classmate. So, para maparehas, gi-cancel niya. Okay? So, please don't do the law of cancellation. Huh? Okay, question here. Is there a question in this sample? I assume wala, ha? Kay wala may ask. Okay, let's proceed to the next one since we still have only. So, our answer is correct. So, we only have 10 minutes. So, still have one problem to solve. So, now let's review our trigonometric function. What if your given equations contain trigonometric functions? What do we need to do? Or what do we do? So, the first thing we need to do is again count the number of constants, which is a and b. Okay? So, after that, we know that we have a constant a and b. We derive it twice. So, first, you need to recall the derivative of sine is cosine. The derivative of cosine is negative sine. Okay? So, let's try. So, you have y equals a sine 3x plus b cosine 3x. That is using trigonometric function. Okay? So, here we have two constants, right? Which is a and b. We have two constant, which is a and b. So, we derive it twice. Okay, so y double prime, that is, what is the derivative of sine? Okay, now, but within your sine, there is a 3x. So, what is the derivative of a sine 3x? Good. So, the derivative of this is 3a cosine 3x. So you get first the 3x, so that is 3 dx. So your 3 here, so dx over the x here will be 1. So you can now derive the sine only. So you have 3 sine to cosine. And copy this one. So from that you have plus, oops, I take that. So that is minus, no? Okay. Okay, minus b 3, right? 3b sine 3x. Sakto? Okay. So, okay, sorry, that is the first one. The second one is, that is, what's the derivative of 3a cosine 3x? That is, since the derivative of cosine is negative sine, So that is negative. 3 times 3, that is 9, right? A sine 3x. This one, is this minus or it will become plus? Negative gihapons. Negative times the positive result here is still negative. Negative 3 times the 3 that when you derive this one, you have 9 b cosine 3x. Okay, so this is your first one. This is your second one. So again, di gyapon, but if you could see sine 3x, cosine 3x. So simply you just transform this one equals negative 9 times a sine 3x plus b cosine 3x. So let's see if it still return the same. 9 times 8 sine 3x. So negative 9 8 that. So negative 9 times b cosine 3x, it will return. So this one is correct. So therefore, you have y double prime is equal to negative 9 times y, because this one is equivalent to y, which is in this given. Okay, so therefore uh, you could you could just rewrite it. You could have it like that, or you could do this plus 9y equals 0. Okay? Pwede na siya. Just transpose. Pwede raning duha. Then, you could transform this one to order. So, you have d squared y over dx squared plus 9y equals 0. Still, second order, first degree. Okay? Second order. So, more on first degree ni tanan. Second order, first degree. Okay? Let's see our answer. Okay? Answer is the same. Question! So, nakasabot ra ba? Hopefully, nakasabot ko. I imparted some knowledge today to you guys. Hopefully, did you understand it? Hopefully, you understand it clearly. Ha? Naghinaot ko na nakasabot mo. Nakasabot ra ba? Klaro ba pod mo? Carl. Sige, Carl. Ah, pwede ra pod, Carl. Yeah, pwede ra pod, Carl. Yep. Oh, just, yeah. Oh. Kini gibutang man ako. Oh, sa ako Sa katong solution ako, wala na ako nagisuwat. Yeah, pwede ra equal zero. Actually, much preferred yun siya equal zero. Mas ano siya. Pero pwede ra po di. Okay? Depende. Mo nang sa ayo lang ka. Ayo lang kasi piyat. What if pag transpose nimo nahimo ng na positive na negative na yana ba? Be careful lang kay ma-minusan jud. Okay? So, extra careful lang. But in uh, modern or foreign books, equate to zero jud na sila. Mostly. Okay. So, sorry gani ha. Wala ko kabantay na wala rin ako i-transpose ang ako ang gi-equate to zero. Pero, pwede ra. Okay? So, hopefully, klaro ra ba akong discussion? Klaro ra ba? Masabtan ra ba? Okay ra. Oo. Sabtan ra. Hopefully, you also do your own solving. Try. There's many things on the references na gihatag nako or online. Dakan kayo. Elimination of Arbitrary Constant again man. So, ano raman po ni? Di man kayo lisod po ni siya kay just count the number of constant, derive it. Kapila. Pagkahuman, if napay arbitrary constant, pangitag pamaagi, ma-cancel out nimo. Pero don't use the law of cancellation na if it is hard, cancel it out kay na ma-cancel po inyong grado na ho. Magkonsumisyon man ko Labad man ni kayo wa mong kasabot arungan ni nato. Manang or like what happened sa una, mag-asa ko, okay, can you solve it in the board? How did you come up like that? So, kurug-kurug in town siya, inga siya, sir, saan man, sir nga. Paglingi na ako sa iyang answer, sir, kay inga na man, pagtanaw na ako sa pikas, maupod, pagtanaw sa ako, kay gamay raman ang usbo nun, di gi-cancel na ako, sir, nasakto lagi, maramig na limbuwad, eh. Okay. So, just you need to understand the problem. Don't worry, I could as much as possible I try to answer the queries of my student. You just post it on the GC nato. Then kung na may mga question, ayaw ko questioning nga i-type ninyo inyong question tapos ako'y mag-imagine sa unsa equation na kung mahimo picture una ninyo tong question ninyo, note ninyo pag human ana na ta mag-type kay mag-nosebleed man ko kay unsa may pasabot niya asa man ni dapit. So ako pod mag-nosebleed ko lahi na nun akong matubag nga answer, sir, lahi man to sa akong pangutana, lahi dayto, lahi day tag pasabot duha. So mana I suggest my student if na may question especially kung solving na part, picture sa daan tong katong gisolve nimo, then ana ask a question. Okay? So don't worry with regards to me kay as much as possible I try my best nga ako ang discussion is malingaw ra, so adliban ako ginagmay. So ano lang jud ko, medyo strict lang jud ko og exam kay gusto na ako ang student magdiniyos jud og answer. Kay sa klase wala koy problema. Kung gusto nyo og lingaw-lingaw, pwede nato lingawan kabo. Let's just add some jokes. Pwede. So that at least mo kaayo sa akong klase. Why problema dyan na nako? Pag exam lang, dapat magtuon jud mo before mo sa akong klase. Ha? Kana mag-exam na, di pwede nang Superman mo exam, bahala na si Batman nga na, di pwede na. Kay kadto gali magtuon, balitok gali sa mo tatong di magtuon. Tuon lang jud. Tapos kung magtuon mo, ayaw memorize sa. Solve jud, balik-balik ka until ang kamot mismo nimo mo solve nag-iya bisag nakapiyong ang imong mata. So binuang na siya pero yeah, that's in times na sige mo try og solve, balik-balik ko na ninyo, you will have or you can find patterns na okay, parihara ni siya. So kaybaw na ka sa next step. So just don't, mathematics is not an English subject or any kanang mga minor subject na you just memorize it. Mathematics, you need to analyze and physically solve it if you want to learn mathematics. Don't do this, especially this subject nga nga memorize na nimo paggawa sa pag sa exam kay mingon, sir, lahi lagi to exam nimo sa sir, sa mong example. Maura na siya. Gibalitok-balitok lang nako ng mga question. So you try, what if kung ingani ang sample ni sir, what if ingana kung magtuon mo ingana. As again, I will suggest you nga mag team, what do you call that one? Team study or group study. Yeah. Pangita na mo mga kauban ninyo na mo group study. Okay? So, hopefully you I imparted you a lesson for around an hour and a half, and hopefully for that hour and a half you get something from me in return. Okay? So, if no more questions, I think I will try to end the class since I still have another class after this. Okay? Sige, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Sige, see you on See you on Thursday. See you on Thursday. Mm. Sige, ano sa man? Start na tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. So, yeah, all of your subject tomorrow and Thursday are face-to-face already. Not only me, but all your subjects from minor to major. Walay mamisake face-to-face starting tomorrow. Wednesday and Thursday. Ha? Ha? Pwede po. Eh, you're asking me man. So, pwede na po. Oh, pagtuon lang daan. Gipahinumduman man ko ninyo. Dito. Ah, attendance o di ay kalimutan ako. Oh, kay ni ano lang chat ani present like this. Kay mo paglaman na sa akong ano. Naka-record naman po, makita naman po. Naka-video recording man ta. Sige. Sige, pag-type lang. Sige, bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye. Sige. Sige.